Good morning. Good morning, Benedicta Gold, Jaja, Ekoe, Ethel Ephraim, Hyacinth, Ifeanyi, Madam Onaji, Mr. Ogochukwu, Trust Udo. You're all welcome on board. All right, so let's start. Now, there's a lot of activity going on globally, due to the ongoing, it's almost becoming a war between United States, uh, United States combined with Israel against Iran. Attacks are beginning to come. Iran seems to be attacking the allies of the United States, attacking bases here and there, like the UK base in Cyprus was attacked. Please mute your device as you join this class. All right. So all this is having effect and impact upon the market. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ken Odini. All right, so let's check out the fundamentals we have today, and we also see the technicals, the setup in the market that could be tradable. By 8:30 a.m. this morning, there'll be CPI from Switzerland. By 2:15, we have ADP non-farm employment change. By 4 p.m., we have ISM services PMI. And by 4:30, the Bank of Canada Governor Mark Lem will be giving a speech. So by 8:30, there will be CPI from Canada, that's Consumer Price Index. Volatility is actually expected on this one. We may check a couple of pairs that may react to this news. And 2:15, ADP non-farm employment change. This will impact upon the dollar ahead of the NFP. Don't forget, NFP comes up on Friday, just this Friday, 2 days away from now. For those who might be new to NFP, NFP is the biggest economic data report from the United States. It's the biggest news in the forex market, and high impact volatility is expected. Last month we had NFP live and it was a great one. So we're up to have another great outing this Friday again. So do join us to trade NFP live. All right, so I'll go straight to the chat now and show you a couple of setup that I'm watching for the day. Now, like I said, there's going to be CPI from Switzerland by 8:30 this morning. That's roughly an hour and 15 minutes from now. Now, I'm looking very closely at the dollar. If I start from the dollar index yesterday hit zone, a confluence zone of, a price trading around a downward moving trend line. Let me draw that again. And also a resistance. So we have a confluence here where we anticipate price to drop, to the bearish direction. So that's the dollar index. We are bearish on the dollar from the dollar index. So that takes us to the USD CHF. And for USD CHF, I'm seeing a very, very high probability trade setup. Price again here is on the downtrend, all right? Not only that, the candle that closed yesterday closed as a rejection candle, and thirdly, we equally have a support zone. So we are very, very bearish, on the USD CHF. Very, very bearish. Now, the fundamentals, now there's a fundamental report we're expecting from Switzerland by 8:30, which is CPI, and we have ADP non-farm employment change from the US by 2:30 p.m. Now we start with the Switzerland event. Now the Switzerland event is just in an hour, 15 minutes, like I said earlier. Technically, we're bearish on the USD CHF. Let me still take it down further so that we can get more clarity on this. On the 1 hour time frame, on the daily, we are very, very bearish. Okay, let me check the 4 hour. Not too much on 4 hour. So 1 hour is where we're looking at. On the 1 hour, I'm seeing a shoulder, a second shoulder. The next wave of movement should be a breakout downwards. That's after breaks below the neckline region. So if the news from Switzerland comes out good, good for the CHF, then that will lead to a bearish movement. What we need to get a bearish movement on USD CHF is a weak dollar and a strong CHF. I'll repeat that. What we need for a massive sell on USD CHF is a weak dollar. Technically, dollar is weak, very, very weak. Now, we also need a strong CHF. So by 8:30 this morning, if the news from Switzerland comes out good for the CHF, that is actual comes out greater than forecast, that may push our USD CHF, to the downward side, especially if price is now able to break out below this neckline region. You may go ahead and trigger a sell. I can't give a signal now, it's still far, you understand? But if the news comes out, and besides, this is a head and shoulder pattern that is forming. Usually, when you have a head and shoulder pattern, your entry can be below the neckline. This is the neckline region. So anywhere from just say around randomly around here can be an entry. So if the news comes out good for the CHF, the data comes out good for the CPI from Switzerland, then and price breaks below that neckline region, you're free to take a sell on the USD CHF. Now, later in the afternoon, if the data again from the United States, that is the ADP non-farm employment change, if it also comes out bad for the dollar, that will also lead to a further bearish breakout. I'm back to Forex Factory, so I want to show you. So what we need today for this news, for this particular instrument I'm showing us, is a strong CHF. This will be green, and this other one, the ADP non-farm employment change, will be red. That's what we need to see a drop on the USD CHF. But technically, we are bearish. We only try to hope the fundamental will align, with that technical outlook. So, but generally, we are bearish on the USD CHF. All right, so I'm bearish on the USDCHF. Now, in same vein, I'm equally bearish on the CAD CHF. Now, for the CAD CHF, that one is Canadian dollar and the Switzerland franc and the Swiss franc. So that one, we are not really bothered about the dollar. So, okay, where is it? Okay, I think it's escaping my attention. So let me open a fresh one. So for the CAD CHF, it's having similar structure with what we have on the USD CHF. On the daily time frame, you can see price is in an overall downtrend and also ending with a rejection candle, just exactly as we saw on the USD CHF. And we have a support turned resistance. So technically, we are bearish also on the CAD CHF. Again, if the data comes out good for the Switzerland franc, they will expect a bearish movement on the CAD CHF. On the 1 hour, we are having our shoulder, our head. Possibly we may see a move to the upside, then a breakout. But either way it goes, even if it doesn't complete the second shoulder, we are looking for a sell on CAD CHF. So you may look at trading both, or you may trade the CAD CHF for the morning and wait, for the news to be released from United States in the afternoon before putting up a trade on the USD CHF. But generally, we're bearish on both the USD CHF and the CAD CHF. Now, USD JPY is equally bearish. The dollar is generally weak, so I have a bearish sentiment also on the USD JPY. And for this one, on the daily time frame, we saw price in a downtrend. I think I mentioned this in my analysis yesterday, and the setup is still valid. We have a downtrend on the daily time frame and also a support turned resistance. So this area becomes our confluence zone from where we're expecting a move to the downside. And on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking at a rising wedge pattern that we expect, to break out, sooner. So we are bearish. This one may take more time because it's more of a swing setup, but that USD CHF should trigger in the course of today. So we're bearish on both the USD CHF, the CAD CHF, and the USD JPY. Now, for some people, they prefer to trade some specific instruments. You see them trade only Euro USD, or so if you're a fan of Euro USD, while we're looking for a bearish movement on the USD CHF, we're looking for a bullish movement on the Euro USD, and these are my reasons. On the daily time frame, the Euro USD is trading in an uptrend. It's in an uptrend with a support. So this region here becomes the confluence where the trend line and the support is meeting. So technically, we should be looking at an upward movement on the Euro USD. And if you take it down to the 1 hour time frame, now at the moment, this is not looking too clear. Earlier on, it was trying to form an inverse head and shoulder, but it looks like that structure is not working at the moment. But what is most important is this: if price is able to break out above this high, then we'll have a very powerful reversal, on the Euro USD. So we're bullish on the Euro USD. Okay, so that we don't get confused, I think I need to stop here. JPUSD is likewise bullish, if you are a fan. But what I would advise against is selling USD CHF, buying Euro USD, and buying GBP USD. You either sell USD CHF and USD JPY, or you buy Euro USD and GBP USD. No, that's far safer that way. Don't, trade negatively correlated pairs at the same time. It often does not work out the best. So that's all I have for us this morning. Don't forget that some of these instruments will react better, after the release of the economic data around them. So I will advise you trade with a lot of caution. Now, for the benefit of those who are just joining us, we're having a live trading on Friday. We're having NFP, non-farm payroll, is the biggest event in the forex market, and it's coming up by 2 p.m. We're going live by 2 p.m. Though the data itself will be released by 2:30, but we just decided from popular requests from our clients that we should be starting early so that people can come in on time, get relaxed. We'll do analysis, we'll share the signal. There's enough time to share the signal, and by 2:30 p.m. the data gets released, and we'll trade and we'll make money. So if you've yet to join us for this live trading session, I want to encourage you to join us this Friday. It's for funded clients, so you need to have trading funds in your account. It's not demo. We're doing live money. So you want to make money live with us, then join us on Friday by 2 p.m. And don't forget, we have physical training sessions at our two locations in Abuja and Lagos, and online training sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. every week. All right, so at this point, if you have a question, you want me to analyze a specific instrument, you can go ahead and share it as we begin to round up. All right, Mr. Trust Udo is asking me to check gold and GBP JPY. So let's check out those two. Now, don't forget that gold at the moment is more fundamental driven than technically driven. So trade gold with a lot of caution. A lot of caution. Once there is an attack from US or Russia on Iran, there will be a spike, in gold. Now, gold spiked up earlier on Monday, then Tuesday we saw it hit a resistance on daily time frame, and we could see a decline. Technically, price is breaking the lower trend line, but then see all this technical setup is just it's just for the show of it. Price may not respect technicals. If a war is involved, price moves more fundamentally. So for me, for now, normally under technicals, this is a breakout, a retest. It should be a continuation, but gold may not be crashing soon, except the war stops. Except it stops. We're seeing a lot of headlines, though some of them not really confirmed reports. I saw an headline this morning. Like I said, it's not confirmed. Russia is saying if US continues hitting on Iran, then we should get ready for third world war. We don't pray it happens, but if it happens, gold will rather go up. And it looks like the United States is not getting ready. Okay, I think they were trying to call for a ceasefire, but it looks like Iran is not ready for any talks for now. So if Iran is not ready for any talks and they hit on the US ally, like I think yesterday they hit the military base of the United Kingdom in Cyprus, will UK retaliate? Well, we don't know yet. Will US retaliate on behalf of UK? We don't know yet. So it's global event that is driving price on gold at the moment. And as such, I will advise you trade with a lot of caution. But then if price makes a break above this, recent high around this region, if a new candle opens above here, then you know it's time to buy. For now, I would suggest don't look for a sell on gold. Rather look for a break above some high levels to trigger a buy, except with time, if all the effect of this war ends, then we may look for a sell. But for now, we should be looking more for a buy because gold will rather trend higher. All right, so that's my view on gold. Okay, GBP USD and BTC. Okay, sorry, GBP JPY. I think that's what I saw. Yeah, GBP JPY and BTC USD. All right, so this is GBP JPY on the daily time frame. Now, overall here, we actually have a bullish trend, but currently price is far from that trend line. If price drops to that trend line, we may have a continuation movement on the GBP JPY. Continuation to the upside, is possible. But let's go to the 4 hour and still see some things. Now on the 4 hour, we can see that price hit a support zone yesterday. So even if it's not dropping to hit that trend line on the daily, with the support zone of yesterday, we may see a move to the upside on GBP JPY. There's a 1 hour side to it. Okay, 15 minutes. Now, with the support on the 15 on the 4 hour time frame, we could actually see a move to the upside. Now, on the 15 minutes time frame, I'm seeing something forming here, which may be an inverse head and shoulder. If that happens, then we may see a move, at least back to the recent resistance zone, which is this region. So let's watch it closely and see if this pattern completes. That's an inverse head and shoulder, which will trigger a move to the next resistance level. So I am bullish on the GBP JPY. All right, Mr. Fabulous, I'll drop the recorded version of this analysis. Then Benedicta Gold is asking me to check BTC USD. All right, this is BTC USD. Yeah, from my own personal analysis, I maintain a bullish outlook on BTC, except if market structure changes. I've said this many times, because what I'm seeing on gold is an uptrend on the weekly time frame, price touching it the third time, and we have a previous resistance turn support. So technically, I maintain a bullish outlook on BTC. But then on the daily, that's the weekly time frame. On the daily, price is currently in a range on the daily time frame. It's trading around a range. Now, when United States hit Iran over the weekend, we saw a big move, on BTC, and that's this candle. That's about 2 days ago. So if price breaks above this current range on the daily time frame, we'll see a move to the upside. This is the 4 hour. This is 1 hour. Let's make it easier. All right. So this is the range on the 4 hour time frame. So let's go down to 1 hour. I'm not getting clarity on the lower time frame, but all I know is that within this range, if price is able to break out above here, retest, we'll see a continuation to the upside. But then if market structure changes, we may see a breakout to the lower side and a further. But I maintain more of the bullish outlook because that's the longer term trend I'm seeing on BTC. So until a breakout happens, we know the next direction of BTC, but I maintain a bullish outlook. A card JPY. All right, so this is card JPY on the 1 hour time frame. Earlier on, price hit a resistance level, a resistance zone on the 4 hour time frame. Let's check the daily. Still very valid on the daily time frame. Okay. So this is the 1 hour version. So we're waiting for a breakout. Technically, we're waiting for a breakout to the downside. So we have a rising wedge pattern drawn. There's a minor support zone there that price also needs to break before we see the free fall. So I'm bearish on the card JPY. Okay, I've attended to all the requests here, so we'll bring the analysis to a close here. Do trade
Thank you
safe.
very much.
You're welcome,
Thank you very much, sir.
and enjoy
God
the
bless
rest of the day. Yeah.
you. You too. Bye,
Bye.
sir.